Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel I'm sharing our journey of learning how to turn our home into a homestead. Today is a weekly gardening video, and I'm going to kind of just bring you along with me, show you some of the things that I'm doing in the garden, and we'll just kind of see how we're growing the garden this time of year. It's currently March 16th. I am in zone 8, either A or B, I'm not sure which one, and our last frost date is around April 1st. And we actually haven't had any frost for quite a while. I was starting to think that maybe we're going to get away with it. But as you can see on my windshield, I woke up to a pretty fair amount of frost. It's not like super thick or anything, but it's definitely, you know, it's thick enough that I'm not going to be able to wipe it off easily. So it's a good thing I don't have to go anywhere today, yeah? Alrighty. So let's go show you the first project. Here along this fence line, and basically what I'm going to do with these is I'm just going to make a flower box that's just going to run, or you know, a few flower boxes separated but stuck together, and they're just going to run along the length of this fence line here. I can't decide if I'm going to do it anywhere between 1 to 2 feet deep. I really want to do like 2 feet, but I'm afraid it'll be too wide. And basically I'm going to set it on both sides of the fence line. I'm going to kind of run the boards along the outside of the fence line and attach them. So it's not like we're going to be growing on the other side of the fence, but it will stop us from having to try and weed whack along the fence line right there. So that's kind of the plan with that. And we're just going to build big flower beds, and we're going to plant them with all kinds of like sunflowers and peas and cool stuff that will both climb up the fence, but will also just be visually pretty. The next thing on the list is to finish up these boards. In the last vlog that I did with you guys, we had started the process of boxing in these aisles, right? And so I just have 4 more walls that I need to build, and then we need to harvest a bunch of wood from the forest and top them off with soil. So another must-do thing for this weekend, hopefully we might do it next weekend, but I need to finish this area off and actually make it a plantable garden. These little birdies here have been working it for the last, I'd say 2 months or so, and I need to get these ladies out of here so that I can broad fork it and put a little soil on top of it, just a little bit, enough to basically be able to plant in. The ground itself is fine, but I'm gonna broad fork it, put a little soil on top to make it easier to plant in, and then cover it with row covers and all those sorts of fun things. So in order to actually get them out of there, I need to fence in this area, and this area is not very possible to use this here fencing. So basically my plan is I'm just going to run some T-posts along the border here. It's really hard to do that in the screen without staying straight line. So just going to run some, see, it's terrible. Going to run some fencing T-posts there. Possibly, I haven't decided exactly, but I might end it there, but I also might just use the natural fence that we have here. My only hesitation with that is that that is a giant rhododendron bush, and from what I am told, that is bad for pretty much all animals, definitely for chickens, as well as this gorgeous Japanese maple here that I do not want the chickens to ruin. It is technically, I believe, it is inside of this wine barrel, half wine barrel, but I don't know if it has a bottom, so I don't know if I can actually move it. But this is a Japanese maple. The owners left it behind when they were here before. They originally wanted to take it with them, but then they changed their mind. So then they said that we can keep it, and this is just gorgeous, and I do not want the chickens to ruin it. I just want to make sure that I'm not ruining those. If I can but if I'm able to relocate that Japanese maple, I'll probably just tear this bush down. So in the meantime, I think I've just made up my mind that I wasn't sure of, and I'm going to run the T-posts along this natural border that's here. There's just like a wooden border here. There's Fluffy. And so I'm just gonna do that, and then we're gonna run it with deer fencing. This here is like a deer fencing. It's just a plastic fence. It's fairly sturdy. I feel like it's enough to hold the birds in. If I'm wrong, I can always catch them and redo it. So that's kind of where I'm at as far as projects are concerned. Another thing that we need to do is peek in the greenhouse there a little more detailed. I'm letting it kind of warm up a little bit. I made sure to fix the greenhouse. I had the front door was kind of torn, and so I fixed it last night. I knew it was going to freeze a bit, and so I want to let the sun kind of rest on it and warm it up a little bit, and then I'm going to go in there and check them out. I peeked through a little slat that I have, and it seems like everything's fine, at least the ones that I was able to see. And then another thing that we have to do is plant a bunch of flowers. The flowers that we're going to start the fence along the border there, I'm going to go ahead and start a bunch of those. At least the first round of flowers I'm going to start ahead of time, and then once I get them in the ground, I'm going to plant the other flowers, just seeds around them. Then we also need to plant a bunch of our squashes, more of the summer type squash, not summer. We need to do summer squash, winter squash, and melons. I want to make sure that I get them going in time to be able to have a better harvest. We had a slightly kind of sort of okay squash harvest last year. Melons did nothing. The squashes did kind of sort of maybe okay, but it was because I planted them too late, because I didn't have a garden in the ground yet. We're doing so much last year to get the garden actually going, because this is only our second year, and I was building all of this stuff last year in like the beginning of the year. So it's been quite a process. But I'm very thankful that I don't have to do it all again this year, and we can just build on what we were doing last year. So come along with me, and I will show you some of the stuff that we're getting done in the garden this weekend. It's the next day here, and we got a bunch of stuff done yesterday. Not quite as much as I'd hoped, but we did get a fair amount of it done. And I was just finishing up a project with the chickens in the chicken run right behind you there, and then the post office called. We got our baby chicks. So we are going to go ahead and take a bit of a detour, and we're going to unpack these chickens, and you get to see all the cuteness, and then we'll move on to actual more gardening projects. Because I know chickens aren't garden projects, but they're baby chicks. So I got everything set up inside. Now all we have to do is just introduce them to their new brooder. They're so cute sounding. I haven't even seen them yet. You get to see them right along with me. So we got their whole pen set up. I have the red light going. I have some water. Got some food for them. They should just be ready to go. Ready for all the cuteness. Oh my goodness! Look at him! American. There we go. Yay! Okay. So there's 5 of these Coco Morans. Strangely, they don't have hairy feet. So it was confusing to me because the extra surprise chick they sent me was the only one that had hairy feet. So that confused me because it looked similar to the other ones. So these are hens. All these meat birds, these are meat birds. These are ones we're going to eat at some point soon. But these ones should all be roosters. So the last week or so when they're here should be promising to be quite loud. But these ones, I have 2. Last time I bought a straight run of these, and so I ended up with almost all roosters. I only had 2 hens out of the 6 I bought. So I've made sure to get the sex ones so that I have a bunch of hens here. And then there's 2 of these. I got 2 just in case to be safe. And these are blue lace red Wyandotte hen roosters, because I have the hens, but I need the roosters. So then this one, I have no idea what it is. It's some kind of a Moran or what is that kind? Silky? Probably a silky. I don't know how to tell. It looks like it has a fuzzy puffy head, so it might be a silky. There we go. So all the hens are here. They're all getting warm underneath the heater. I might end up busting out a second one because there's so many of them, but we'll see how they are. All right, I had to leave the garage because it was just too loud to even be able to talk to you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to some of the things that we have done in order to be able to move forward with our garden this year. So the first thing I was able to do, which actually added in about, let me see, so 16, 32, 64. Yeah. So the first thing that I did, well, not the first thing I did, but the first thing I'm showing you that I did was I was able to finish boxing in all of these little aisles. And you can see here, it's definitely not perfect. I'm going to need to come through here. You see, this side is good, but this side, I'm going to have to come through with a scroll saw, whatever you want to call it, and chop some of these down. So they're there, they're installed, and they are ready to fill up so that we can plant in them, hopefully this next week. Okay, so the next thing that I did, which is really super duper important, is I got the hens out of here. I still need to do a little bit of tidying, got some eggs over there, but so I got them out of this area so that I can start to, my plan is to just rake up all of the straw, put it in the compost, and then I'm going to, what's that called? I'm going to broad fork it. And so in order to do that, I had to get them in here. Okay, so I got this area all done. The fence area, they were all pretty darn stoked when they got in here. They have been digging this area like crazy. You can see them kind of down at the end. Let me show you. You can see all the little holes they're digging. See? So right there, the ones that have the like, you can see the defined feathers. Like that lady there, that's a blue lace red Wyandotte. That's going to get a rooster here in a few months. And then these other ones are Pendensica or something like that. They're like a partridge something variety. They're total escape artists, but they're super pretty and they lay really dark eggs, so I like them. And I wasn't able to get a rooster on this batch, so I have a couple of roosters that are coming. I think it's in May. I think that it might be August, May or August. So anyways, these ladies are just going to have to deal without having their matched rooster for a little while, and then starting next year, probably I will be breeding those as well. So we're going to have 3 different breeds that I'm going to be reproducing and hopefully selling here. The blue lace red Wyandottes, the Pendensica, and the French Cocoa Morans. So I'm pretty stoked about that one. So another thing that I was able to get done yesterday is I didn't actually like build the fence box, the fence border box, but I got all of the pieces here. They're ready to go. I have the cross braces. I have a bunch of them right here, and I have them cut with the Craig's jig. I got them cut to length, and I put the Craig jig in there. So I have the rest of them are in the garage, and they're cut to size, but I just need to Craig jig them. I just ran out of energy last night. I was zapped. So got that all ready to go, and that shouldn't take too terribly long, and I have the concept of what I want to actually do with them. I'm going to be using, it's like a metal tape sort of that they use in plumbing that has holes in it, and you can like strap it on to things. So that's kind of my idea to keep the border boxes in place, is to strap them to the fence posts with that kind of metal tape type thing. Okay, let's take a peek here. Oh, there's a big old nasty spider on there. I don't do spiders very well. So here we got the greenhouse. It's very tall fences, or very tall tables now, especially the one on the left, because I went ahead and I actually leveled it out, and it's very, very hilly in here. I took 4 2x4s to get it mostly leveled. So show you here. You can see my basil. I don't know why I don't just replant it. I'm pretty sure I burned it when I fed it the first time, but they're still green growing. So I'm still holding out some hope, but I need to replant them anyways because they're not going to last all summer. Got to succession plant them. And I ended up getting 4 tomatoes out here the other day. Kind of as an experiment, but kind of I just didn't have room inside. So I don't know how well they did surviving the frost, but we're going to find out. And I think last night was the last frost that we should have for a while because we have cloudy days. We generally only get frost when it's like a really clear night. So these are doing okay. This one has definitely recovered the best out of these. I burned them as well. Noob to fertilizing, I admit it. I did not dilute it and I sprayed it directly on. So now I have switched, at least when they're in the seedling stage, I'm just going to bottom water them at half the recommended dosage, like people say. So everything's doing pretty good out here. Just wanted to show you. And we got tons and tons and tons of radishes. None of the beets yet. Like literally none of the beets. So you can see kind of how quickly the radishes come out of the ground. We got some peas poking out. We planted these 2 weeks ago. So you can see it takes a really long time for these things to come out of the ground. And I was honestly expecting these to pop out of the ground a little sooner. It's probably just because they were out here. Maybe they're just waiting for the right temperatures. So that's what we got here. So I'm going to head inside. I'm going to go ahead and eat some lunch / breakfast / whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to come out here and I'm most likely going to be working on building these boxes here. I don't know how much of it I'll show you, maybe like a time lapse or something like that. I'm not entirely too sure, but I think I'd like to get that finished because it is such a large project for me personally, and I just want to get it done and out of the way. I've been thinking about it for months and months and months, trying to figure out how to do it, and I just want it to be gone from my headspace. So I know that this will clear up a lot more food production gardening. So this one, getting this finished, will clear up more food production gardening, that one. But I don't know. I'm just not feeling broad forking at the moment. I'll do it afterwards. And then this area here, we have, at least a month before we're going to be planting it. So I'm just going to keep it tarped. But this, we're going to be planting a bunch of kales, cabbage, peas, things like that that are a little more cold hardy. So this one I do need to get ready. So we are going to go ahead and wrap things up with our garden session today in a little bit of a different way. It's actually like yesterday from when you guys are seeing this. You should see this tomorrow on Friday, and it is now Thursday. So, funny story. I was editing my video tonight to bring to you guys tomorrow, and the last large portion of the vlog, my microphone died. So, word to the wise, if your microphone has a red light on the back of it, you might want to pay more mind to it. I did check it because it had a red light. I checked it, to make sure that there was sound coming out, and I should have thought about it further on through the day, because at some point in the day, the microphone died. We are missing some of that vlog, but not too terribly much. It's just the kind of the end portion there of wrapping up outside, and then came inside and just kind of showed you all the flowers that I'm going to be planting. And so I can go ahead and just show you those flowers so that you don't get behind on the things that are going on in the garden. So, So I know that I said, or I believe I told you guys earlier in the vlog, that I was going to be planting zucchinis, like summer squash, winter squash, cucumbers, things like that. But I ran out of trays and I'm waiting for them to come in the mail. They were supposed to come in the mail today, and then I just checked it like a couple of minutes ago to make sure, and now it's tomorrow. So these ones we're going to have to wait until we have space for. And then I'm going to be planting, I'm going to be starting some sunflowers as well. I'll show you, but not until probably this coming weekend. So we'll do that then. Let me just show you some of the stuff that we got here. Okay, so these first ones are ones that we already started last night. And so I have a mixture straw flower from Seed Savers, and then a tall double mix straw flower from Baker Creek. Zulu prints. These things are just beautiful. I have some Homestead seeds from this one, but I wanted more, so I got more. African daisy, Glorosa daisy, Gaillardia Indian blanket. I love this kind. Made this one yesterday, or last year I grew these ones, and they were just beautiful. So, and then I got this one is a lollipop mix Gaillardia, but it looks so different. Like, how are these the same flower? And then we have Queen Sophia Marigold. My son bought me this one for my birthday a couple of years ago. Cracker Jack Marigold, Calendula Pot O Marigold, Pink Surprise Calendula, and a touch of Buff Red. Red Buff, sorry. A mixture of Calendula, a Bachelor's Red Button, and a Blue Boy Bachelor's Button. And this is Homestead Seed Nigella. These things are so pretty. I'm looking forward to them. I didn't grow them last year, so I'm pretty stoked about it. And it actually gets like the seeds are like almost like onion seeds. Kalonji, I think is the name of the seed. Anyways, you can totally add it to food, and it's a good spice. My husband really likes it. It tastes like onions. So, and then these ones are actually ones that I'm going to be planting tonight while my video is uploading. So these ones, we have a salmon rose zinnia, a scabosa zinnia. I was watching a video about this last night while I was actually planting, and it was a Q&A on zinnias, and she said that she has a very difficult time actually getting these to actually do the little puffy edges around it, and usually it just turns into like a single row zinnia. So we'll see on that one. I can't remember what she offered as a solution. I don't know if she had one, because she said she never had luck with it. So anyways, cut and come again zinnia, jazzy mixture, a red cap, Mazurkia. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's beautiful. And then we have some German chamomile. These ones, the ones I just read you, I'm going to plant 8 of those, and then the next ones we're just going to plant 4. And so we have some German chamomile, some Bode Gold, and Zloty lawn. And then we have some Globe Amaranth, White Stars Feverfew, Verbena. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. And then we have a couple of milkweeds. We have a showy, which is like a big ball, and then swamp and butterfly. Beautiful. Then we have some chicorée. I think that this one, the roots of this one is actually a substitute for coffee. More for flavor, less for like the energy of it, but it's supposed to be really good for digestion too. I'm not sure about that. We'll see. We've got some hyssop, some spearmint, broad sage, caraway, horehound, oregano. This one's just a common oregano. And then cumin, valerian, stevia. It's a great sugar substitute. And yellow and purple echinacea. And it was actually kind of funny because I ordered the echinacea, and then my free seed from Baker Creek was echinacea. I was just like, you're just mocking me at this point. But anyways, so these are the ones that we're going to be planting tonight, and I just wanted to make sure to show you and keep you guys up to date on everything that is happening in the garden, all of these seeds and the starts that we are doing. So this coming weekend, we are going to be planting and starting all of our squash seeds and a lot of the melons and stuff like that. So be sure to tune in next Friday, and you can see everything that we're going to be starting here in the next couple of days. And then we also have a bunch of ones that we're going to be starting directly in the ground, like we have a bunch of nasturtiums, and then what else? Some balms, mullein, phyllo, you know, and then a few like poppies, things like that. Some other really beautiful flowers. We're going to be starting directly in the ground either this coming weekend or the following. I'm not sure exactly which one. But of course I will bring you along and show you everything. So if you enjoyed this video, please do be sure to give it a thumbs up. I really enjoy that. Let me know down below where you guys are at in your garden. And if you haven't already started planting, let me know when you guys plan to start doing that. And what is the thing that you're looking forward to most in growing in your garden? Mine is obviously tomatoes. I am hoping to make my redemption from last year. So let me know what you're looking forward to most, or anything else that you would like to let me know down in the comments below. If you have any tips or tricks or pointers or anything for me as a new gardener, please do let me know down below. I would love, love, love to learn from you guys. Then be sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. It's, I think, right about there. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.